Test, 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 test.
Oops, sorry. I'd like to call the meeting of the West Sonoma County Union High School District to order. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to speak on items that are on the closed session agenda? Hearing none, seeing none, we will adjourn to closed session.
Testing, 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 testing. Test, 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 test. Brian, can you hear me? Brian, Brian. Hello, testing, testing. Mic check, mic check. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. the YouTube. Check, 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 check. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Check, 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 check. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Check, 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 check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Brian, testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting of the West Sonoma County Union High School District back to order. And with that, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Linda, would you lead us in the pledge, please? The flag is behind you on the wall. Thank you so much, Linda. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to move on to approval of the agenda.
Yeah, Jeannie, if I may, Madam President, I would like to recommend that we pull item A3 from the agenda. We have received significant amount of communication regarding this item from concerned community members and parents. Therefore, I believe we need to communicate with our community and provide further clarification and rationale, which will also allow the Board of Trustees additional time prior having a discussion and potentially taking a vote on the district administration's recommendation.
Thank you, Chris. So with that, can I get approval of the agenda minus A3?
I move we approve the agenda.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. It's on. Oh, you need to be on your mic.
I move we approve the agenda minus A3.
Thank you. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Louis. Is there any further discussion on the agenda? Can I get approval, a vote, all in favor? Thank you. Brandon, thank you. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to find where I'm at here. Okay, so with that, I wanted to announce to the members of the public that if you put in a speaker card to speak on A3, you still can speak, but we will just have you speak under items not on the agenda since A3 is now not on the agenda. Is that okay with everyone? Thank you. The consortium issue? I'm sorry? The follow-up on what?
Not answering questions right now.
We're not sure.
We need people to come to the podium.
Okay. If we're going to have people speak, I need you to know that you need to come up to the podium and speak, and the microphone must be on. Otherwise, no one that's online can hear you. Thank you. Okay, so input from the public on items not on the open session. I'd like to ask the board if you will consent that we change the amount of time for speakers to 2 minutes since we have close to 25. Everybody in agreement with that? Okay, thank you. So Jenny, can you do 2 minutes for me? Thank you. Okay. First person to speak is Ann Swinburne. She wants to speak on the Commons app. Please step forward to the podium. And Dan, can you make sure the microphone's on? Thank you.
It's kind of weird. All these people were here and I just walked in and I'm getting called first. But anyway, stand with everyone on the consortium issue. I actually wanted to talk to the board about the Commons app, though. I have a senior here at Annalee and an 8th grader at Brookhaven. And it feels to me like at a time when our national administration is increasingly spying on citizens in this country, increasingly pushing back on democratic participation in a school district that claims to be open and supportive of all students, including students who might be concerned about the government tracking them and surveilling them. That forcing kids, and I know you're not forcing them, you're giving them the option to leave their phones at home or turn them in the office, but even suggesting that they put an app on their phone that it is effectively surveillance by the administration of the school district. When they do something on their phone they're not supposed to do, the district gets an alert that they've done it. That's surveillance. And it's not acceptable. I've got a kid now who's scared to bring her phone to school. Her friends don't want to download this app. They're getting these emails from the administration telling them that they're going to get followed up with, which feels scary to high school kids. I really think that this got flubbed the same way this consortium thing got flubbed, that you guys need to back off of the Commons app, give the kids a chance to weigh in with you about what they think would be a fair policy. They support phone-free schools, or at least all the ones I talk to support phone-free schools, but we need to do it in a way that feels good to these kids and lets them feel like they're actually participating in the decision-making and not being surveilled. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer McCourtney.
Hi. I am with the consortium. I am a parent. I have a 8-year-old little boy at the consortium. There's just a couple of things I want everybody to consider, and that would be ed codes. They exist. They're a thing. I really want you guys to do the right thing and the right way with the consortium. I have been looking at some of these ed codes, and the way you guys were going to do this was not the right way. And it's very upsetting as a community member knowing that my child will come to this district and be here with you guys. These are decisions and things that affect our children and our staff. Without this staff, our kids would not have a wonderful second home, and their second home really is school. Besides me, my child spends the most time with these individuals, and they are a godsend. And the way that things should go should not be like this. Now, I had a different speech written, but that agenda piece has gone. I also want you guys to consider small schools. We have small districts. They're suffering. There's money involved on their parts as well to make sure that these kids are having their needs met. Let's consider them and make sure that we're doing this as a community. Chris, you sat at a consortium board meeting when we tried to start moving forward with plans. You vowed that you were going to keep the consortium until 2028. You need to be a man of your word and stick to it, and you need to come up with a better plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Kimberly.
Hello, that's me, has nothing to do with consortium, but I'm from Forestville, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for all your commitment to upgrading that campus, and especially now, the tennis courts have been upgraded and people are really out there, and I sent some photos in earlier that maybe you have them in your agenda packet, I'm not sure, but it went from really depressing, lonely, empty space, neglected, and now it is Vital and Green and fixed up quite a bit for the monies that were provided. And I just wanted to thank you guys for that. I know it was kind of a lot of nagging, but the community really appreciates the community asset, that whole campus. And thank you again, and hopefully you enjoyed those photos because they're kind of the before and after. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Kimberly. Stephen Pimentel.
Hello, Board. Stephen Pimentel from Annalee High School. So I was really hoping to not be the first one up here about this, but I've heard recently that the band was possibly going to be missing out on some external activities and the stipend that goes along with that. So I'm here to say, please protect our band's parades, competitions. For my daughter, that's pretty much everything out of all the activities. They're not just extracurricular. You know, we must support our teacher out of sheer dedication. He may actually continue to do that if it's allowed, but we still cannot exploit his kindness. I'll keep it short. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Williams.
Hi, I'm Nancy Williams. This is my 27th year here at Annalee. Most of those years have been pretty awesome. Thank you. So for about 24, 25 years, I have helped run the intramural program, which is a lunchtime, non-contract time for us to have fun with the kiddos. During the summer, I volunteer. Who of my colleagues out here volunteer their time? Volunteer their time for school stuff. Free, not paid. Yeah, I'm sure the consortium people as well. I volunteer my time during the summer to train the volleyball team because I love those kids and I love the coaches and I love volleyball. So I had this feeling, nobody told me, I had a feeling that stipends were disappearing, but nobody told me. So I started the email train. It took a little bit of time to get a response. Thank you. And then I emailed a couple times every week throughout the summer. Crickets. I didn't get one response. Not one. And my emails were not mean or demeaning. They were more encouraging. This is why we should have this. And now that we have bigger enrollment than you guys thought, and kids just need things to do, especially in this time. If they're going to be phone free, let's, it's just recess, you guys. Well, that was the best part of school when we were little. And I just, you need to be more transparent. You need to respond. If I didn't respond to an email, I'd be reprimanded. And what we do, all of us, it's good for kids. It's good for kids. Bring those stipends back, not just intramural stipend for band, choir, dance. Everybody that kicks in a little bit extra, it's pennies.
Nancy, that's your time.
So do the right thing because you guys do the right thing. Thank you for what you do.
Cynthia Bradley.
This is a completely different subject. I live on Johnson Street, right around the corner. My husband and I walk the campus a lot with our dog. I I have 2 grandchildren who are in Sebastopol schools, elementary schools, and I'm a retired teacher. And I'm here because people in our community have been hurt by hateful, racist words and actions in our neighborhoods. And they don't feel heard. And I feel that we are all in this together. The whole community is here in this. The school environment, school board is part of it. Our city council is part of it. We're all responsible. Some of us have gotten together to go to the sites where hateful things have been written and neighbors have been hurt. And we all feel like we want to step up as a community to do positive things, to address whatever racism or bigotry or bias is in our community. We want families to feel welcome and safe. The reason that I'm here is that I'm hoping that our school can tell us, can share with us what you are doing as a community, what the teachers are doing in their classrooms, what the staff is doing to support families who don't feel that they're heard or supported. And I wondered if members of the school community could present at a meeting for the public so that people feel that they know what is going on. So it's not about concern, it's not about criticism, but more about support. What more can we do?
That is your time.
Thank you.
Loretta Castleberry.
Hello. I'm talking about stipends. Stipends for out-of-contract teaching and coaching time are an important recognition of the extraordinary work our educators do to make our schools vibrant and connected communities. The pep band at Friday night football games is a wonderful example. The band adds to the entire atmosphere of those evenings, builds school spirit, and brings joy to students, families, and the broader Sebastopol community. Their presence makes a football game more than just a sporting event. It becomes a community gathering. The same is true for our coaches. The time coaches devote throughout the year goes far beyond the hours of practices and games. They maintain the fields and equipment. They prepare the students, organize programs, and provide mentorship and support. The amount of time and care they give can never truly be compensated in full, but stipends are an important way to acknowledge the value of their work. Arts and athletics are the ribbons that tie our school community together. They create opportunities for students to belong, contribute, grow, and represent their school and community with pride. The people who make these programs possible deserve to be compensated for their time they give beyond their contracted responsibilities. Supporting stipends for out-of-contract teaching and coaching time is not simply about paying for a few extra hours. It is an investment in school spirit, student opportunities, and the strength of the entire Sebastopol community.
Kevin Meyer.
Hi there. I was going to talk about the consortium program, but since I got removed, I can tell how important it actually is. Both of my boys are nonverbal, autistic, and just the community here. Like I graduated 2011. My dad graduated high school here. Annalie, my grandfather did. Some of these are my teachers here when I grew up. So I just, I look at that, look at the community, and then look at what you guys are trying to get rid of, the people you're trying to get rid of. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, I can't really talk more about the consortium, but that's where I'm at. So thank you guys.
I'm not quite sure of this last name, but Zachary Shuford. Mhm.
My name is Zach Shuford. I'm the president of the Annalee Bandwagon, and I've come here to discuss two issues with the board concerning expenditures and funding music and the arts. The first is quite simple. The board approved 2 stipends for Casey Jones to support extracurricular activities of the music program, but has since rescinded one of those stipends. The reality is that Mr. Jones must go unpaid or find private funding for events that directly benefit the community, the students, and Annalee High School, and thereby the district. In addition, since Mr. Jones is acting as an employee of Annalee High, it behooves the district to provide funding for him in the pursuit of district-related activities. In addition to the hard work that Mr. Jones puts into these events and programs, and the immense benefit to the students, warrants his compensation for his time and expertise. It is truly tragic that we are having discussions about whether to do the Apple Blossom Parade, or have the marching band play at the Warriors game, or have the jazz band play at the Sebastopol tree lighting, or to have the honors band attend anything at all. It seems ridiculous that we are having this discussion over $4,994, a pittance in comparison to the millions of dollars the district will spend in the coming fiscal year. It's an easy decision to allocate the second stipend for Mr. Jones and the music program. The second issue that I raised, I discovered while perusing the budget approved on June 24th of this year. I found that the budgeted amount of money spent on the arts from California's Prop 28 funding, guaranteeing money for growing arts programs for all California schools, was $49,262 less this year than the previous year. A little more digging, and I found that California had approved $263,368 worth of expenditures to grow arts programs for the district, and that this year's proposed spending of that money was $200,000.
That is your
Our-
time.
If we-
I just want to say, if anybody wants to share anything that you want to say to the board, you can certainly email us. Addison Provan.
Hello, my name is Addison Proven. I'm a student here at Annalee and one of the co-presidents of our Speech and Debate Club. I'm here today to discuss the possibility of our team losing our stipend and therefore being unable to afford a coach. Debate is a unique club because we only meet outside of school hours. We spend 2 hours every week committing to our practice and participate in frequent out-of-town tournaments, often many hours away. All of these outside of school hours is what made me fall in love with the club, because all of the time that we get to spend together outside of school created a community unlike any other I've been able to find on campus. However, this also means that being a coach for our team is a significant undertaking. Last year, our coach Claire sacrificed lots of time, and she was only met with minimal reimbursement for her gas and very valuable time. My co-president, Everly Anderson, and I have already tried to seek out a new coach, but we've been met with the same response over and over, that they could not do so without reimbursement, which is perfectly understandable. But without a coach, debate will have to cease to exist, because we are not allowed to attend tournaments without being accompanied by a coach and having them help manage the events. It would be such a shame if debate came to an end, not only because it's meant so much to me throughout my years at Annalee, but because our team has had an extremely successful history. Last year, our co-presidents made it to state qualifiers. We had several winning streaks, and I myself earned $500 in scholarship by participating in a speech contest. I would hate to see the club that has opened up so many opportunities for me be taken away from myself and many other students. That is why I strongly urge you to reconsider cutting the debate team stipend and for the stipends for all other arts programs. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Casey Jones.
Hi, good evening. I'm going to paraphrase an email I received from Dan Blake August 12th, the day before students arrived, about my stipends. The stipend remains part of the negotiated appendix and may be allocated again in future years as the district's financial circumstances and program priorities evolve. The district has allocated one of two band stipends listed on Appendix B, and you have the choice of band marching or band spring. In music education, as a teacher, I'm not only a mentor and a leader, but I have to make a lot of tough choices. And I want to create something for the students that's bigger than just me or my ego. And I have to choose one stipend. It takes so much away from my program and the students and community experience. It is compensation for work outside my time, and I find it shameful that the district should imply that non-donations like the bandwagon have to go toward my compensation. Sorry, we can't do the field trip to the Warriors game. Sorry, we can't repair this. We have to pay Mr. Jones for after time, after school hours. Before taxes, one stipend, as mentioned, is for 1,994 events outside of school. I feel it's a small investment for a huge return. I asked the district and the board to reflect on the managerial raises made over the summer in comparison to the allocated stipends. Here, both my stipends during the fall and the spring cover so many things. Many of it was mentioned. Playing for the football games, we played for the girls' flag football game. We do we played for the drama productions, not also including the musical. We played the Warriors halftime show, obviously the spring and winter concert, and of course the Apple Blossom Parade and the graduation. Please consider the investment, not just in my time, but more importantly in the student and community experience. One more thing I want to mention on the district website, the Prop 28 plan that the district and I worked on 3 years ago, the end of that 3-year plan was last year. And I feel that as we move forward with planning, we have to keep these in mind. And again, I go back to the program and district priorities. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Aspen Ward.
Hello, I am Aspen Ward, and I'm speaking on behalf of the stipends. I am the new school's Annalee ASB treasurer. I am speaking on behalf of Lily Borgeson tonight. The fact that her being paid for the play this year is even a question is a sensitive topic for me. Since the whole reason why I came to Annalee in the first place was because I watched her musical be put on, Legally Blonde. I joined Annalee for the arts, and if Miss Borgeson does not get paid for the play, we will most likely have to be told to take it out of the drama fund, which will affect our budget for the spring musical greatly. I think I speak on behalf of everybody when I say I'm very disappointed in what the board has tried to do this year with choir, theater, and the arts programs as a whole. And now this. It's all so hard to watch, and it makes us feel like you don't care about the arts. I hope that you will make the right decision and not take away a home for kids who don't do the usual sports or activities that regular kids are involved in, because every kid deserves a place to feel like they're good at something.
Mia, this one, I think you put 2 in. This one is about the new facility.
Good evening. This is an email that I sent to the board, but I wanted to read it tonight because I want it to be on public record. I wasn't able to attend Jenny's tour with the Rotary Club last week, but she graciously offered to give me a tour on Monday. This project has been several years in the making, and it is so exciting to see this district preparing to open the doors for 2026-27 school year. The facility is absolutely beautiful. I would like to commend Jenny, Denise, their crews, the architects, contractors, and all the staff members who have worked so hard to bring this project to completion. Their dedication and commitment are evident throughout the entire campus. I also appreciate the board's continued support in ensuring that Annalee campus provides facilities that meet the needs of both current and future students. I hope to attend the ribbon cutting ceremony with my dad. I know that he will especially appreciate the new facilities as he began his teaching career at El Molino as an industrial arts and woodshop teacher. Congratulations to everybody.
Thank you, Mia. Ashley Carlson.
Hi, I'm Ashley Carlson. I'm going to try and get through this as fast as I can. I am a lifelong West County native. I am a graduate of El Molino High School, and my son went to the consortium for a couple years, so I feel fairly qualified to speak on this. I honestly should have seen this coming at a consortium board meeting a couple years ago when y'all's SPED director said that there are too many kids with IEPs. As if it's these children's choice, the SPED director, as if it's these children's fault that they require and deserve an education that fits them. How dare they exist? How dare they have access to a free and appropriate education? These are children, students, families. They are not line items, nor an issue to be voted away. Y'all said yourself, and I quote, "This district has served as the admin lead for the consortium since its inception." Since its inception. But you know what? It no longer serves us. So screw those families. It's exactly what you said when you chose consolidation over what was in the best interest of all students in the district. The consortium serves PK through 8 because that's what it was designed to do. There are no facilities on West Sonoma County High School campuses because it doesn't serve high school students. Again, by design since its inception. The fact that you all are using these as reasons to approve the dissolution of the consortium is absolutely wild and incredibly deceptive. Why now? What's changed? Is it about money? Because last I checked, the SPED consortium was budgeted fully in y'all's 2027 adopted budget last month.
That's your time.
Katie Snyder.
Good evening. I'm Katie Schneider, and I thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts with you this evening. I'm a proud grandparent of a member of the Annalee High School Band. I've also been a teacher, a principal, and a district office administrator responsible for educational programs. So I have a little bit of sense of the challenges that you face. First, I'd like to encourage the board to continue its support of the music programs and the arts programs at Annalee High School. As you are well aware, participation in music benefits students socially and academically. Under the talented leadership of Mr. Casey Jones, band director, the music program exemplifies the board's commitment to providing high-quality instruction to students, as stated in your district's mission statement. Second, I fully appreciate the challenges faced by the board and the district in these tough financial times. However, I would encourage you to think about the positive benefit for the school district that the Annalee High School Band provides. When the band under Mr. Casey Jones' direction plays at football games, participates in the Sebastopol Winter Tree Lighting Ceremony, marches in the Apple Blossom Parade, performs at professional sports events and concerts open to the public, the students serve as ambassadors of goodwill and build community support for the West Sonoma County Union School District. I hope you will consider the impact of cutting back Mr. Jones' activities that connect the Annalee High School program with the local community. Public confidence in the quality of the high school attracts parents when they decide whether to send their child to Annalee or consider a private school or another school in another district. This community support is also critical if the board needs to pass a bond to pay for improvements to school facilities. In closing, I hope the board can examine the difficult budget options you are facing to see if cuts can be made without impacting the outreach to the community provided by the Annalee High School Band Program. Thank you.
Thank you. Lily Borgeson.
Hello, my name is Lily Borgeson, and I'm the director of the theater program at Annalee, and I'm here to express my disappointment over the fall stipend being eliminated. When I took over this program 4 years ago, it was made up of 3 class sections and 2 stipends. This year, you have whittled it down to 1 class section and 1 stipend, despite having great numbers last year and 2 incredibly successful drama productions. I really should cancel the fall play this year because I don't want the board to think that they can eliminate funding for enrichment programs and somehow the enrichment will still exist. But I already bought the licensing and the students don't deserve to have all their beloved fall play canceled with so little warning, so I'm moving forward with the show. I'm going to volunteer my time because I'm not going to drain our ASB account to put money in my pocket, and I'm not going to beg the Ed Foundation to pay me instead or someone else. But I will never do this again after this year. If our district wants enrichment, it has to fund it. It's really hard to hear our district leaders talk about joy and belonging as the #1 priority for our school, because you know where students find joy and belonging? In the arts programs that you keep cutting. I look forward to seeing all of you in the audience at Radium Girls the first weekend of November.
Jill McDonald.
Hey everyone, thanks for the time tonight. I am the mother of a 6-year-old boy who goes to Forestville Elementary School special day class. My son's name is Luca. He's amazing. A lot of you in the room know him. He has the right to inclusive community, a day class that suits his needs. He has intractable epilepsy. He's legally blind. He has autism and he has intellectual disability. He's a very, very bright, amazing, spirited boy, and he loves his school and he loves all of the people that he has built up relationships with over the last 2 years. So I'm here to strongly advocate that you really bring us parents into this process. I'm a single mom. This school is a lifeline for me and Luca. I want to be a part of the discussion and I want to be a part of the process, and my son deserves that dignity. People with disabilities deserve to have dignity and access to education that is appropriate to their needs, not just their educational needs, but their medical needs also. It's so nice to see everyone come out and support. Please bring me into the discussion. Please bring me into the discussion. This is really important to me. This is my child, my son. Thank you.
Thank you. Paige Greco. Paige Greco.
I'd actually like to yield my time to the gentleman who got cut off talking about all of the budgetary stuff.
I'll pick up where I left off. A little more digging and I found out that California had approved $263,368 worth of expenditures to grow the arts programs for this district. And that this year's proposed budget was $200,000, $63,368 less. Now, last year, they spent almost all of the allotted funds. Now, that difference was $49,262 less. So now we had the funding last year. We spent it all. This year, we have more funding and we're spending less. And we're cutting programs. We have the availability of funds, but we don't know what they were spent on. The question is, what did we spend the funds on last year? The last time that that you guys updated the website for what the funds were spent on was 2024. So we don't know where the money went. I would say that we would love to have the Prop 28 money spent on Mr. Jones' stipend, on Miss Borgeson's stipend, but we can't say that that's supplementing the arts education. We would say it's supplanting now because the district is saying, oh no, but we spent for those stipends, when in reality, we can't prove that it didn't come out of Prop 28 money. If it came out of Prop 28 money last year, then we say, oh, we just used Prop 28 money again to pay for it this year, but suddenly $63,000 worth of funding is in the wind. I request that the board reinstate both Mr. Jones' stipends and Ms. Borgeson's stipend, supporting their extracurricular presence at music and arts program events. And I further request that the board reveal how Proposition 28 funding is being spent from last year and how it plans to spend that funding this year in accordance with state guidelines and statutes. Thank you very much.
Mariko Wesley Fagundes. Mariko, sorry.
It's Mariko Wesley Fagundes. I have been a teacher here at the consortium for 27 years, and I've worked here at at West Sonoma County Union High School District for basically all of my career except for 2 years. Good evening. Our most vulnerable need your help tonight. It's not going to be tonight, but they need your help. They need continuity, consistency, the teachers who've been helping them thrive, their sense of community, the schools where they have a sense of belonging. You are elected officials. You were chosen to make decisions for these future Annalee Tigers. They need you to vote to give the consortium more time to make a safe and predictable environment for them. I know some of you are leaving after this term. Let a rushed and retaliatory decision not be your legacy. I implore you to do the right thing. This is not a monetary or programmatic decision. It is a moral one. Thank you.
Melissa Staggs.
Hi. My son, AJ, has been a consortium student since he was 3 years old. He's 12 now, and in Miss Wes's class at the Twin Hills campus. We have seen over the last 9 years the good, the bad, and the ugly of the consortium. And I will say the last 2 years, I feel like we have entered really a golden age of the consortium. There is new leadership here with Sarah Zills. She has repaired so many relationships that were fractured under previous directors. She has grown the program. She has created a supportive environment for staff, teachers, and parents. She's rebuilt the relationships between the administration of the consortium and parents. From my understanding, the consortium is self-sustaining, it is self-supporting, it is well-funded, and in fact, making money for the district. AJ is a high school district student. We live in the high school district. You have a responsibility to provide him a free and appropriate education by maintaining the structure that you guys created so many years ago, and it is working. It's working. I want to just implore you guys to continue with the MOU that goes through 2028 before you make any decisions. I do want to add that I do also feel like the language used in the resolution was insulting. Advantageous is not the benchmark that we use when we determine whether or not to fulfill the terms of a contract. The MOU goes through 2028. It doesn't matter if you think it's advantageous or not. There is a contract involved. I would also like to add that advantageous is not the term we use when we discuss whether or not we want to follow the ed code. Advantageous is not what we use when we discuss a free and appropriate education. I would recommend changing that word next time. I'm urging the board to honor the current MOU as it stands so that the other member districts can create an effective administration for the consortium moving forward.
Jeff Harding.
Members of the board, my name's Jeff Harding. I'm the school board president in Twin Hills and also a retired superintendent from Mountain View, Los Altos, and Healdsburg. I had a more substantial message for you tonight, really encouraging you to not take action on this proposal to eliminate the consortium beginning next year. But because you already made that decision, I'm going to yield my time back and send you something in writing, email. What I'm going to send to you is a list of questions that should have been answered before this topic ever made it to the board. Okay, thank you.
Lisa Christensen.
Hello, my name is Lisa Christensen. I'm a teacher with the consortium and I've been an employee with the district since 2018. I know A3 was taken off the agenda, but I still feel like what I'm going to say / ask is important to ponder on. I know you're not allowed to answer questions, but the question I have is, if you had a child with a disability, would you be proud of the work that you are doing today? I ask this question because in the words of Andrea Loveday Brown, any individual can become disabled at any point in life. This could be in utero, this could be newborn stage, toddler stage, childhood, teenager, or adult. So with that being said, how would you answer this question? Am I hurting or am I helping the disabled community? Thank you.
Susan Bergiano.
Hello, my name is Susan Bejarano, and
sorry.
I am a speech language pathologist with the consortium. I've been part of the consortium since 2017 and very proud of the work that we do and the team that we have and that are growing. I'm very disappointed how you all have gone around bringing this topic to a vote today. I'm very thankful to the community out there and all parents, everybody standing up to this and voicing their opinions and having this result be that it's not on the agenda to vote today. That is really great. It also should be something to consider in what you're when you move forward with your consideration on this topic, seeing what everybody is feeling like. And it's just it's really disappointing what you're choosing to do, how you were trying to do it. I feel you should honor the agreement that you had through 2028 and the school year of 2028, giving the consortium time to build a structure for these students to land in. If you end it the end of this year, the structure might not be there. I know that our team will try their hardest to create something if that's what happens, because that's what we do. But man, there's no guarantee that it's going to be a smooth landing. There's no guarantee if it's rushed like this, even though we want it to be desperately a way. It's just, I'm disappointed, shocked, and like it was said earlier, think about the choices you are making and how it feels to you. And is it okay with your moral standing? And if it is okay, how can it be? I just don't get it. These kids need us. This community needs us. And it's so, so important to consider your actions. So transition with integrity in 2028, if that's what it comes, not 2027 school year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Penelope Butterfield Young.
Good evening. As you just heard, my name is Penelope Butterfield Young. I am a resident of Sebastopol and a retired teacher. And it's come to my attention an issue that was raised earlier, doesn't exactly focus on the consortium issues, but is really related to it. And that is the incidence of racism in our community. And that greatly concerns me. Living here in Sebastopol, I like to think that this is an incredibly accepting, tolerant community. One that, in a way, people have mentioned, a place where people feel safe. And I do see how it's related to the consortium issue, because if children after school don't have things to do, they may end up inventing things or plugging into social media and find less healthy ways to spend their time. So I'm just here to just express my concern and my desire and my wish for you to include that in your considerations on your programming that you're considering. I think it's really, really vital. And I, as it was said earlier, I think we all do play a part here. The school board, the teachers, the community members, the police, the city council, everyone needs to do something to try to promote a healthy environment for the children of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mia.
I first want to start with a clarifying point on the cover sheet for the consortium MOU. The high school district was not the LEA of the Special Ed Consortium since its inception. Twin Hills Union School District was the original LEA, and the high school district assumed that responsibility approximately 23 years ago. Unfortunately, I don't know that exact date. If the school board approves the MOU, the consortium board subsequently approves the district's request to cease serving the LEA before 2028. There are numerous significant issues that will need to be addressed. Given the potential impact on employees, finances, and the operation of the consortium, I believe the board should have a clear answers to several important questions before approving a change of this magnitude. In regarding to the financial and governance considerations, what is the current dollar amount the high school district receives from the consortium for serving as the LEA? What are the financial implications for the district of no longer serving as the LEA? Specifically, would the district realize a financial benefit, incur additional costs, or experience little financial change? Why is the district requesting a transition out of the LEA role before 2028 rather than allowing the current arrangement to continue until that time? Has another consortium district expressed interest in assuming the responsibilities of the LEA? If so, which district, and has that district formally considered or agreed to take this responsibility? What is the impact on the consortium employees? If another school district assumes the LEA responsibilities, the transition will have significant implications for all consortium employees. If employees must separate from the current LEA and be hired by a new LEA, there are many issues that will need to be carefully addressed, including, does the receiving school district have a collective bargaining agreement covering classified employees? How do the receiving district's certificated and classified salary schedules compare to those of the high school district? How will certificated and classified employees be placed on the receiving district salary schedules?
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's your time.
Okay. I have copies for the boards. I kind of figured I'd run out of time.
Next, Amanda Reese.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Reese, and I'm a West County resident, Annalee graduate, class of 2000, speech language pathologist entering my 14th year with the school district, and proud parent of a 6th grader in our consortium middle school class and an 8th grader at Brookhaven, both bound for Annalee in the near future. The district's current MOU with the consortium is to remain the LEA through the 27-28 school year. The proposed expedited timeline on Resolution 1 this evening does not honor the district's commitment, nor does it meet Ed Code requirements. Ed Code requires a 2-year timeline to transfer special education programs out from under the LEA. The proposed expedited timeline on the resolution of 1 year prevents adequate planning time to address all the complex issues entailed in a transfer to support the best possible outcomes for students. I find the wording of the resolution very troubling, particularly the phrase "no longer financially advantageous," like the value of a student should be measured in what income they bring to the district. And while you're deciding later this evening to dedicate financial resources to recruiting new students from out of district to build community, you seem so willing to abandon this vulnerable community right in front of you. These students are all future Tigers. These parents are all West County voters. And why should some students be courted to our destination district while the ones who already live here are being pushed out on a timeline that shows little care for what comes next for them? Consortium programs are growing, as is our staff, and our dedicated staff deserve a well-planned transition as well. The Consortium Council and our Special Education Director, Sarah Zills, are dedicated to retaining staff in this transition as they understand that there is a direct correlation to quality staff and student success. The continuity of programming is extremely important for all these vulnerable students. A 2-year transition plan will give adequate time for both staff and parents to be part of the planning process, which is also required by Ed Code. Thank you.
Maris Densmore.
Scrolling. Hi, my name is Maris Densmore. I am a Sebastopol resident and a proud parent of 2 Annalee students who are participating in the music program, and I'm here to speak in absolute support of continuing the stipends for Jones and for everyone who is putting in the extra effort and the extra time for our kids. Casey Jones is helping me raise my kids, and thank you, by the way. And all of our kids. And he's teaching them really crucial life skills. He's teaching them poise. He's teaching them performance. He's teaching them listening. He's teaching, which I have failed at teaching them, it seems like sometimes. And he's teaching them about community. And he's teaching them about being on a team. And a band and an orchestra is just as much a team as any sport. My son has been going to these events at school and outside of school for the past 2 years, really eager to join his older sister in the orchestra. And he did. He did. It's day 5 of Annalee, and he is so stoked. He's coming home and he's telling me stories about, you know, the music that Jones gave him today. And really the stories that he's sharing are about his interactions and positive interactions that he is having with upperclassmen, which is pretty cool as a freshman. And that is particularly meaningful to me because my dad, also a Sebastopol resident and voter in Sebastopol, will tell you that the only class that he had with his older brother was band. And that older brother came through about a month ago, and 60 years after they had that first band class together, we rocked out at my house and we played music together. And that's something that these programs absolutely support, is the lifelong love and the lifelong learning of music. I myself, proud band nerd as well, and the benefits of participating in high school music cannot be overstated. I'm not a professional musician, I'm a scientist, but it takes the same skills to be in any job as we are learning and our kids are learning from Jones. So thank you for your consideration for adding those stipends, keeping those going. So important to all of our kids. Thanks.
Thank you. Jolene Johnson.
Hello, my name is Jolene Johnson, and I'm the dance director at Annalee High, and I'm speaking today for a few different reasons. One, I'd love all of you to come and see my very full dance classes this year, especially during my Dance 2-3 second period class, and not just observe, but participate. Actually feel what it is like for my students. It's hard for my dancers to move, and I think setting up next year, we should cap my classes to 20 to 25 students so it feels safe, unless you want to build me a brand new sprung floor dance building. I had one of my freshman students come up to me after fourth period introduction to dance class and ask if she could be transferred to a smaller class because she felt overwhelmed. I let her know that she was actually in my smallest dance class of 28. We weren't even dancing yet, and the volume of students in my class was overwhelming. No movement yet involved. 2, I want to advocate to please move my dance company stipend to the coaches list. That is where cheer and all the other sports are. For dance, we go to multiple competitions, go to football games, just like cheer. We're asked to represent the school at back to school night, showcase, and more. And so I wonder why my stipend is not present on that coaching list like the rest of my colleagues and less likely to be cut on a whim. 3, with our freshman class coming in way over our budgeted estimate, I implore the board to reinstate a few different stipends. We're asking our students to be phone free, and yet we're getting rid of the stipends whose full purpose is to engage students in connection, belonging, and free phone activities. So please consider bringing the intramural stipend back. Additionally, our performing arts programs puts on multiple shows a year, and you could one from theater, one from dance, and one from band. These programs all put in so many hours beyond what our stipend even pays for, and it gives our students a phone-free opportunity to share their crafts and pathways with our community. Since the revenue is higher than you anticipated, I please ask that you reinstate those 4, and now including debate and speech, so that we can continue to be a phone-free, community-engaging, stipend-funded program. No one likes to work for free, and these students don't deserve to have these opportunities taken from them. So please, now that we have the money, because we have the students, please show our students that they matter and that you support these programs by refunding these stipends. And lastly, I feel like it's a little upsetting to remove a big item like changing the MOU of the consortium off the agenda. It feels as though you don't want to make a hard decision with such an audience. You could have kept it, heard everyone, and voted to keep the current MOU that expires in 2008 until you make a plan with the families, not at the families. Thank you.
Amber Munoz.
Good evening, board members. My name is Amber Munez, and I'm an extensive support needs teacher with the West Sonoma County Consortium. Having attended majority of the high school district and consortium board meetings this year over the past 2 years, I understand that there may be some legitimate concerns that need to be addressed as the high school district considers its future role in the consortium. However, I hope this decision isn't reduced to the idea that because our classrooms are full of primary students, that they are somehow separate from the work of this district. You see, when you teach 4- and 5-year-olds, so much of what you do is an investment of who they will become. The communication, independence, regulation, and costume skills that we're working on today aren't just about this school year. We're building a foundation that we hope will support these children throughout their education, including the day they arrive on your campuses. My students may be years away from being high school students, but they're already West County students. School districts have boundaries, but communities don't work that way. So as you consider this transition, I hope you look beyond the immediate administrative decision and consider the children who will continue growing up in West County after it is made. And I hope you choose to leave this partnership with the same care, dignity, and responsibility with which you once chose to be a part of. Thank you.
Loretta Castleberry, I think you have an alumni report you wanted to give. No, you can do it now.
Hello. This is the report from the Annalee Alumni Association on what happened this last year of 25-26. Money was donated for campus beautification, purchases of new trash containers, the fancy ones, and wood chips. We purchased new TVs and sound system for the cafeteria for teacher meetings and workshops. We replaced the sign in the main hall that said it's a great day to be a Tiger. We purchased, after 5 years of working on, the Vietnam Memorial plaque on Carlson Field. We purchased solar lighting for the memorial plaque and for the flagpole. And I've noticed that over the years, when we stand for the national anthem, people are looking around like, where's the flag? And per agreement, because the Alumni Association's bylaws say that we fund facilities projects, but when we took over the golf tournament back from the Boosters Club, the agreement was that we would give $4,000 to athletics each year. So this year, what's on our agenda, as soon as Jenny's finished with all the summer projects, we are going to purchase a brand new electronic, what do you call those? Billboard, marquee, that will be on High School Road so people can go both directions and see what's happening at the school. We have 2 events that are coming up that I want to be sure and invite everybody to. The first one is happening, just so happens, it's on 9/11. You won't forget the date. The first home football game, and we will be dedicating the Vietnam Memorial plaque. People ask me when we first started this, would we also do one for El Molino? Well, Vietnam War, there was no El Molino. Everyone came to Annalee. And so the people on this plaque are Bill Blessman, Ron Markham, who is from Monterey, Dennis Purcell, Jerry Parmeter, who was from Cazadero, Ed Rainford, John Mills from Forestville, and Thomas Bowen from Monterey. So it will recognize the 7 Annalee graduates who never came back from the war. We have family coming for each of these lost individuals. We hope to have the band play the national anthem, but as of now, we're having a recording of the national anthem. We have the Veterans of Foreign War coming to do an honor guard, and the announcer will read the inscription that's on the plaque. So I hope you all take time. It is mounted on a ginormous rock down on the football field. When you look at the snack stand, there's a big, beautiful redwood tree to the right, and it's right there. And so I hope sometime you come by and look at it, that we had 7 people from our school that fought in the war and never returned home. Our second event that's coming up that I would like to invite people to is our Annalee Sports Hall of Fame. That will be happening on introductions on 9/18 at the football game, and the dinner at 9/19 at Santa Rosa Golf and Country Club. And everyone is invited to attend. It is $90 a person. Inductees this year will be Marv Mays from the class of 1953, Wes Suramoto from the class of 1969, Jim Bertoli from the class of 1978, Christine Piranoli and Jamie Piranoli Tantarellis, both 1999, Rose Chris Brusco, 1997, and John Knox, 2014. So you're all invited to attend. It's a lovely recognition of their achievements. So thank you.
Thank you, Loretta. Okay, that concludes our input from the public regarding items not on the open session agenda. So we are going to move to our consent calendar. Can I get a motion with regards to the consent calendar?
So moved.
A second, please. Thank you, Louis. Is there any discussion regarding the consent calendar? All in favor? Brandon? And yes, if you guys would like to leave, that's fine. We'll take a little bit of a break here for a minute to allow folks to leave so that we can then proceed with our meeting.
Lots to unpack. Just to clarify, a lot of misinformation, as we knew. So, yeah. I think you and I should meet Jeff Hardy. I know, me too.
Jeff. I know Jeff.
Sitting next to Dana, she won't even look at me. None of them look at me. Purposely trying to get eye contact and get a stare down. So I was like, sure. I don't know if I ever told you about the story when he called to meet with Dan and I when we went down to Taylor And he wants to play hardball. We need to sit down and just talk business because I mean, I know what he's doing. There's in my mind that he is in all the trouble and all the scheming. So we'll do that. I think we should meet so he's got the courage to do that.
Thank you very much. Okay, Linda, action on items heard in closed session. We are.
The board took action in closed session under agenda item D1 to approve a .40 leave of absence for a certificated employee for the 26-27 school year. The vote was Buckner, aye, Chernella, aye, Fernandez, aye, Helton, aye, Gutierrez, absent.
Thank you. Okay, we are now going to move to our reports, student board reports. Brandon, thank you for joining us, by the way.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandon Lau, and I'm a senior here at I'm a senior here at Annalee High School. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Throughout my time on campus, I've been involved in a variety of activities, including volleyball, golf, band, and student leadership. My main responsibility is to represent the students on campus and bring their concerns and perspectives to the board. One of the current concerns that I've been talked to about by my fellow students is in regards to the band program. Following all of our public comments, I don't think you guys need to hear my not as well written speech, but Mr. Jones is not being compensated for his time outside of his contracted hours during the fall semester. Due to this, he will not be available to organize and direct the marching bands playing during the football games, which honestly is a very large part of the community sense during the games. Another concern is the new cell phone policy, and particularly how the Commons app activates based on location. Students have pointed out situations where they are on campus and outside of class, but unable to use their phones. For example, checking a work schedule before or during schoolwork, during a free period, or while waiting to pick up a younger sibling, they are unable to do their schoolwork. I think those situations are worth considering as the new policies are being implemented. I'm looking forward to stepping into this new position and working with the board this year to best represent students and experience what they would like to see improved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brandon.
Appreciate that.
Association reports. Dawn, welcome to your new position.
Hello, everyone. I am the new CSEA president. I currently work at Laguna High School, well, El Molino campus. And tonight I don't have anything to report, but I'm pretty sure I will by the next meeting. So thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Lily?
Welcome, Dawn. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lily Smedshammer, president of the West Sonoma County Teachers Association. I'm representing 106 certificated employees. I'm going to talk about money tonight. CTA believes in the maxim, a budget is a statement of values. When a district tells us it has to make cuts, we should all ask a very simple question. Are these cuts actually necessary, or are they choices that show us what our administrators value? The district is telling us that it has to save money. We have stipends in our contract for extra work. The district isn't legally able to remove those stipends from the contract. Instead, for the first time in district history that I'm aware of, including every year that we were in qualified status, we have a little budget deficit going on, but we're not in qualified status. And we were in qualified status year after year after year, including the year of the strike. We never touched the stipends. Those are very public-facing programs for small amounts of money. It is picking and choosing which programs it will run and which it will still simply stop offering. We're being told we need to save the small amount of $4,900 by canceling the fall play at Annalee. We're told we have to save the small amount of $4,900 by not offering the band stipend this fall. We are told that we need to save $4,900 by canceling the fall dance show. We are told we need to save $4,900 by eliminating lunchtime intramural sports, where over 100 students participate during their lunch by being active and engaged instead of on their cell phones. And now we're told that community coaches, people who are not members of WSCTA, who essentially volunteer their time and receive very small stipends as a thank you for their work, should take a 20% cut. And then we come to the withdrawn agenda item to dissolve the West Sonoma County Consortium. Our district is the local education agency for 7 of our feeder districts. Those districts pay our district more than $460,000 for district office services. Our current MOU extends through next year, and yet we're considering walking away from that arrangement a year early. How can you consider giving up more than $460,000 in revenue when we're telling students, families, and community members that we don't have the small amounts of money to pay for intramurals, the fall play, spring band performances at graduation, and the Apple Blossom Parade, the fall dance show, or our community member coaches? We are saving pennies by cutting public saving programs that fill theaters with parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and neighbors. Programs supported by dedicated community members who give their time to our students, people who show up for our schools, who vote when we run parcel tax campaigns and bonds to build our beautiful new facilities. And at the same time, the board was considering walking away from our moral obligation to the consortium and voluntarily giving up more than $460,000 of revenue. I don't know how to reconcile that kind of thinking. This afternoon, the CTA legal department submitted a cease and desist to the district office regarding proposed resolution number 1, the withdrawal from the Special Education West County Consortium. Dear Board, President Fernandez, and trustees, I write on behalf of the West Sonoma County Teachers Association, CTA, NEA, WSCTA, regarding your scheduled vote on a resolution authorizing the district's withdrawal from the West County Special Education and Student Services Consortium. While the resolution you will consider at today's meeting appears to comply with the withdrawal rules set out in the consortium's current memorandum of understanding, it conspicuously does not satisfy the statutory requirements for the transfer of special education programs and services. As you may know, California state law requires, as a precondition for any transfer of special education programs and services, that the appropriate special education local plan area develop a comprehensive plan addressing numerous aspects of the transfer. California law likewise generally prohibits special education programs and services from being transferred earlier than the first day of the second fiscal year beginning after the date that notice of the intended transfer is given. The district has not complied with these statutory requirements. Accordingly, WSCTA demands the district's Board of Trustees refrain from approving the proposed resolution authorizing the district's withdrawal from the consortium, and that the district cease and desist from any withdrawal without complying with all statutory requirements. Please be advised that WSCTA reserves all rights. Sincerely, Jacob Rickizer, CTA Staff Counsel. Thank you.
Thank you. Board member report. Sean, do you have anything?
Not at this time.
Thank you, Sean. Linda?
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you. Lewis?
I'm appreciating democracy and how messy and difficult it is. This is hard sitting up here and having, 475 people tell us what we're doing wrong. But it's important, and we're listening, and I know for me, it's really helps me understand more what the issues are. I don't work inside the school 40 hours a week, and this is very instructive, and I just want you to know that as hard as it is, we're all listening and we're learning, and we'll take that into consideration as we go back and rethink a lot of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Okay, today at 1:35 p.m., first I'll say, you notice that Rio's not here, right? Today at 1:35 p.m., I received an email from Rio Quintera that stated as of immediately, he is resigning his position on the West Sonoma County Union High School Board. With that, I want to announce that we will be appointing someone to replace Rio, and we will determine appropriate next steps moving forward. Thank you. I also wanted to let everybody know that I attended registration and actually helped. I volunteered, spent almost 3 hours, I think, helping kids get their class schedules And it was really rewarding. And I'm really glad that I was there because I know that the staff really needed my help. So I'm glad I was able to help. It was nice to see Chris join us. He came over and interacted with parents and students and teachers. And I thought that was wonderful. Jenny gave me a tour of the new CTE building. It's absolutely beautiful. Please, if you can, attend our big, I call it a barn raising that we're going to have at the end of September. I think it'll be a really wonderful event. I also went to the fair and watched some of our FFA kids show at the fair, and I attended the pig auction where our kids actually did quite well. So I just wanted to fill everybody in on kind of what I did this summer. Thank you so much. Superintendent report.
Thank you. First, I'd like to welcome Brandon Lau. Appreciate your courage. Looking forward to meeting with you and appreciate your commitment to your student body and the district and the community. So talk a little about what we had going on this year. We always start the year with our new hire welcome, and we have some amazing new additions to our district team. And I want to thank our staff, Dan Blake and Jenny and her teams for coming in and greeting those folks and walking them through some of the nuances of becoming a new team member here. I too attended 9th grade orientation. I want to give a shout out to Link Crew and all of the teachers who support Link Crew. It was lots of fun. I think Brandon Lau also maybe acknowledged me by name, which doesn't happen often. So thank you for that. It was a good day. PD Day. I was inspired and motivated by all of the facilitators, the breakout sessions. We doubled down on support for multilingual learners this year. Welcome to some amazing folks from SCO, one of my former colleagues. I'm really proud of that effort and that focus for this year. It's one of many focuses that align with our strategic plan and ensuring we have a place for all learners. As I shared in my welcome letter and addressed to the staff for some statistics and some context. Last year at Annalee, we had 53 multilingual learners. 16 of those students were reclassified. I gave a huge shout out to Ashley Vilchis and Christy Carlson for redefining our reclassification process, something that the board took action on in the spring. Of those 53 students, we had 270 total reclassified students, which makes up about 20% of our students in the high schools. And so we really wanted to ensure that our staff understand that we're growingly diverse, and we need to continue to work on how we support all learners. So that was our focus for our district-wide PD Day. That SCO team is coming back in October to continue that effort, and we're really excited about that. Back to school is always fun. It was a pleasure welcoming students back onto our campuses. There was a lot of buzz, a lot more conversations. I didn't see any cell phones out in the first few days of school. I did see one the other day, and Chuck thankfully gave me a pouch, so the next time I'm on campus, I can hand that out. But I think the kids are doing really well. The coolest thing I heard regarding that was we had to decrease the volume of our bells because there's more human-to-human interaction in the halls. Construction, you know, we've had a lot going on. Again, I want to extend gratitude to Jenny, Denise, and their teams and all of the folks that we contract with to make these amazing projects happen. It's really, really neat. Annalee alumni, I want to thank Loretta Castleberry and the Alumni Association for their ongoing support and generous contributions. Loretta spoke to that tonight, and big thanks for the most recent support of our bell-to-bell cell phone initiatives. Safeway. As you know, Chuck and I have met kind of an ad hoc working group committee, if you will. I think we met 5 times last year via Zoom. It started with a meeting in Chief McDonough's office down at Sebastopol PD, where Jill McLewis helped bring this together with the local and regional Safeway management team so that we can work collaboratively on how we problem solve some of the issues that may arise with district students. I'm looking forward to a great year ahead. I think it's going to be a good year. Lastly, I want to clarify the misinterpretation of the ed code that we heard about from numerous people tonight. I think there's a lot of clarity that we can provide our community and our board. I really appreciate the folks that came out to speak on behalf of the consortium. But we vetted that ed code interpretation with Elizabeth Engelken, who is the executive director of the Sonoma Special Ed Local Plan Area that works in tandem with SCO, as well as legal advice from our council with F3. So our council will be preparing a response to the letter that Lily mentioned regarding CTA's interpretation of that ed code. And it's an easy ed code to misinterpret, but it's silent on consortia. So it does not apply to any consortiums. And therefore, those timelines and those requirements fall back to the local agreement. So I've been very, very diligent about ensuring that that ed code does not apply if the board were to make the decision to move from our role as LEA. So
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate it. Okay. We're going to move on to discussion and action items. First up is education services, marketing and communications update and 26-27 communications plan. And that this is just going to be a discussion item, by the way, and we're going to turn to Jessica for that. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Jenny. You can go to the first slide. So is it gonna let you? I'll just talk. That's okay. I can just talk. The presentation is on the agenda. It's attached. I have it in front of me, but I can go in order for myself. So a big portion of my first year last year was community engagement, particularly around interdistrict transfers. I think that's primarily with the admin assistant part of my role. I spend a lot of time walking families through the process, and especially this year with the challenges or the changes that came with Santa Rosa's updated policy, there was a lot more to navigate with families. And at the beginning of last school year, a lot of time was spent talking with families on the phone, communicating via email. And in addition to that, for our current students and current families, there was a lot of communication via Parent Square, Facebook, Instagram. I built our Instagram presence as well as getting all of our accounts verified, which there are many, many Annalee High School associated Instagram pages, which is wonderful. And I wanted to make sure we got verified so that we show up on top when you search for Annalee. And for the district account, AIA's account, and Laguna's account. I also did a couple of district website kind of updates or refresh, and there's still lots and lots to do in terms of making sure everything is up to date. There's a lot of pages, so that's going to be an ongoing project. I also, towards the end of last year, worked on outreach to staff, kind of it took me a while to get acclimated, understand all the various parts of my role. And so I started reaching out to staff at the end of last year and have already preemptively reached out to folks for this year to get ahead of what they have going on throughout the semester and throughout the school year so that I can capture what all the hard work they're doing in their classrooms. And then a lot of communication via the phone free or about the phone free school day, in an attempt to limit misinformation or misunderstanding about what we're doing, what the policy is, what the app does. And that was a big push at the end of the summer. And then in the greater community, a couple of these events, Chris came with me, but we went to Project 100, which is a meeting group of organizations in West County that are working to support infants in their first 100 days. Oh, no, sorry. 100 infants are born in West County every year. And so it's supporting with those students or those children. And then Los 100, which is a local organization for Hispanic and Latino people, as well as going out to the different middle schools in the district, in the West County district, to do some promotion for the Academy of Innovative Arts. with Greg and Cole Smith at the helm, we had some maker pop-ups at different middle schools, showing them all the different kinds of skills that students learn at AIA. They were making wooden rings, and I don't know all the names of all the tools. They were making stickers, they were screen printing, and I think it was a really great way for the students, the ninth graders, to have a kind of leadership role in teaching the younger middle schoolers how to do these different techniques. I also did a lot of work on the newsletter. You can't see on the screen, but there's different metrics on how many people viewed it. And at a certain point, I kind of thought in the winter, it was 196 people had viewed it. And so I thought, okay, maybe maybe we'll decrease the frequency instead of having it every month. And by the time when I did a spring and summer one, we were kind of more in the 200s. So still trying to figure out the best way to get that the newsletter out there. But with the summer newsletter, there was 34% click-through rate. So people were clicking the links. So that's really positive. That's really high. Oh, thank you, Jenny. No, you're good. And then on the social media, as I said, I created all of the district accounts. And actually, I think the district one's not verified, but as you can see, well, it's small, but Annalee is actually now up to 588 followers, I think. And this was like a week or two ago. So there's been a lot of action on the Annalee Instagram page, probably because of the Phone Free School Day content that I've been pushing. But you can see that we're getting pretty decent views, and primarily reels and videos are what are attracting people. And so that's kind of been my focus in terms of posting content, is taking video, because that's more engaging for others to click on the page. You can go to the next one. And so this is the money that was spent on social media ads. We spent $408.64 on a variety of ads. I kind of just played around with it to see what was going to work. And you can't entirely see it, but the one that we spent $20 a day on to share about showcase night, that got the most impressions, meaning that 13,480 people saw that video, saw that ad. And then it had 160 clicks. But then you have the maker pop-up video I spent $5 a day on, and it had 276 clicks. So it's kind of a toss-up. You never know, but playing around with it has been kind of fun to see, how many people we can get to see these things. Then in other paid advertising, around the time that we had the budget for marketing approved, we were talking about digital marketing with ASMG, and these are the results from that marketing campaign. On the slide, the next slide, Jenny. Sorry, thank you. On the left are the images that were that I created for the campaign. They were in a variety of different sizes for different parts of a web page, whether it was a banner on top or on the side. And from November to January, so over 2 months, over 250,000 people saw those ads. Post impression conversion, so that means those are folks who saw the ad, they didn't click, but then they later did the action, so they kind of went back to it. That was 58 people. And then folks that clicked the ad and spent time on the website, that was 9 people. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it directed students to our Find Your Place page on the district website. The top performing channels were Yahoo, Press Democrat, SFGate, and CNN. So that's where those ads were shown. And the click-through rate was 0.04%. So that's the number of people who clicked and did the action. And the average, particularly for educational programs, is 0.05 to 0.08%. So we're kind of on the verge of the average for that. Next slide, please. And then we also did email marketing through them. And so the first deployment was to, a broad spectrum of demographics that reached 32,500 folks. 7,447 opened them, and that was 22.91%, which is pretty big, I think. And then clicks 958. The second deployment was sent out to those folks that did open it. So that's 7,447 people. They received the second email in December, and 1,886 opened, 214 clicks. And for the open rate, measures visibility. So that's who sees it. Click-through rate measures engagement. So the links clicked in those emails. And then click to open measures the emails opened and clicked. So it's a lot of, I had to write these down because I was having trouble keeping track of the different definitions. And then on the next slide, you will see the sponsored content headlines that we had with the Press Democrat. Next one, Jenny. These are the headlines. So we did one for the whole district and the different diploma tracks that we have. And then we did a specific campaign, I believe in June, for the Academy of Innovative Arts. And on the next slide, you can see the results from the June campaign. I tried to get the results from the prior one, but I believe the account person I was working with at the time no longer works there. So I'm still trying to get a hold of it. But you can see that this campaign did really well. It reached 100,000 people. And what I find most impressive is that the average time spent on the article was 69 seconds. That's a lot. It's not just people opening it and like skimming it and moving on. And then there's 158 clicks. And I think what I heard from them, and they do this all the time, was that it was really successful. On the next page, you can see the social boost. So we also paid for them to boost the articles on the Press Democrats social media and Sonoma Magazine's social media. And that was really successful, particularly with, with the Press Democrat. So it reached 14,643. And with the Press Democrat, they got 929 landing page views and 210 with Sonoma Magazine. So those are, I'm excited about those numbers. And then on the next page is just an update on the budget that we were given. So far, we've spent $12,310.16. So there's still a little bit of a balance left. And that includes meta ads, meta verification. We have to pay, that's a monthly cost. The digital marketing, advertising, the Press Democrat, brochures I printed for AIA, sponsored content, and all the kind of other smaller costs. And then I think now we're moving on to the plan for this year. I have really taken a liking to Annalie's shirts having real life over screen life. And I feel like I'm taking that into my year and really focusing on relationship building and in-person interactions. So I really want to get into classrooms this year And like I said, I'm already reaching out to folks to kind of plan ahead, both for myself and for them. I don't want to reach out when it's already, we're well into the year and everyone's kind of, I don't want to bother them when they've got so many other things going on. And another thing that we're working on, Lewis and I are co-facilitating the ABC, the Access and Belonging Committee, and we don't have it scheduled yet, but we'll be meeting in September. And one of the big projects that I am going to take on as a part of that is working on some anti-hate speech communication and education that's in response to the resolution that we signed at the end of last school year. And that will be something that the plan is for them to be kind of short videos that will go into the morning roar, announcements, shared on social media and all of that. And so that's going to be a big project this year as well. And then digital citizenship, that is something that is in line with the phone-free school day and really wanting to educate our students and our community on, what it means to be a digital citizen. So for relationship building, next slide, please, Jenny. This is actually something I've talked to Dale a lot about in terms of particularly for the Academy of Innovative Arts, but I think it would be the same for Annalee as well in terms of, getting out in the community and being involved with the community outside of the school. And some of the ideas that have been thrown out there is like, I know Annalee's already a part of the Apple Blossom Festival, but maybe having AIA out there showing sharing their work, really. They're quite incredible. If you were not at their last year at the end of the year when they gave their demonstrations, and all the work that they did over the year, their portfolios, all their projects, it was really, really incredible to see. And one of the ideas that Dale had thrown out was getting involved with the farmers markets and really just getting out in the community and showing everyone what AIA is about. But in terms of like the whole district, I want to, and this was my goal before, but I think now I am settled in my role and I really want to focus on storytelling for all programs that we have. And then just, like I said, in-person community outreach and just being present on campus in a more consistent basis. Like I said, the anti-hate speech education, this is kind of an outline of topics. And this was based off work that Lewis did over the summer. And I just put it in an image. But the first couple topics being what is hate speech, protected identities, online hate speech, intent versus impact, and microaggressions. So that's just kind of an example of what the different topics would be in regards to educating our community on hate speech. And then the next slide is digital citizenship. We are going to be communicating more about the phone-free school day and how to kind of keep up the momentum that we already have. I plan to send out updates on progress with the Commons app in conjunction with, what's going on with students who are turning their phones in or students who have opted out. And then this web page, it's not published yet, but it has some resources that were shared with us from the Commons that are different kind of learning or lesson plans for age-appropriate lesson plans for digital citizenship. So that includes things like online bullying and I can't remember the rest of them, but if the little video plays, I open up the accordions, and you can see the topics briefly. And I think that's it. That is the plan for this year. Real life over screen life. Thanks. And open to any questions if you have any.
Great. Does anybody on the board have any questions or? Very good job. Thank you. I was really impressed to see the information about especially the PD ads. I know for one, I saw them in a number of places on the newspaper and in the, on Facebook, and they really don't look like an ad. It looks like the newspaper is doing an article about the school, which is really great. So I think that was something we maybe need to think about continuing doing, because it seems like it was a pretty good hit. Does anybody have any questions? Great. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jessica. Great. Elmolino Campus, sorry, Elmolino Campus Community Educational Program presentation from Greg Alexander. Welcome, Greg.
All right. Good evening. Greg Alexander, Elmolino Campus, Laguna High School Academy of Innovative Arts. Before I start, I want to, as was just done, thank Jenny and Denise for all the hard work on the campus. As always, it looks great. We just got some new lunch picnic tables out there that look absolutely amazing. And so I don't know how old the other ones we had were, but they were pretty weathered. So we're pretty excited about that. They went up today. I also want to just give a shout out and welcome our new staff members on campus: Ann Peterson, Lilia Sells, and Jonathan Zidich. Jenny, you can go next slide. Yeah, so, we opened the Academy of Innovative Arts last year, and we have both Laguna High School and the Academy on there. And so I just kind of highlight some of the differences, because as I'll talk about, we're really moving towards a really similar philosophy between the two schools, but there are some differences. So Laguna High School, continuation high school students have to be 16 per ed code to join. One of the primary functions that we serve is credit recovery, and part of how we accelerate credit recovery and really try to build that into the student school day is we operate on really a different calendar. So instead of the traditional quarter semester system, we operate on 6 grading periods, roughly about 6 weeks apiece. And so, the positives of that are a little bit of acceleration, but also really gives us some flexibility in students' individual plans in terms of classes that they need. Oftentimes students, have a high need of classes that they need. So it gives us the flexibility to, when they complete a course, move them into a different course at various points throughout the year. On the Academy side of things, a little bit more of that traditional calendar with the quarter and semester system. And, we're focused on a lot of project-based learning, competency-based. I'm not going to call it grading here yet, but we're utilizing competencies that we'll talk a little bit about later. And we're growing, one grade level at a time. So we welcomed another freshman class this year. And so we have freshmen and sophomores there, which is pretty exciting. All right. Enrollment numbers. So for Laguna High School, we opened the school year with 53 students, 18th, 11th graders, 35 seniors. This is pretty typical for what we've been the last number of years in terms of starting out. I would say typically throughout the course of the year, with students potentially going back to Annalee High School, students coming in at various grading periods, early graduations, we typically serve between 80 and 90 students a year, I'd say, in totality. On the Academy side of things, our total enrollment's 38. We were hoping for some more there, but I really think year 2, I think we have a great product, and we're looking forward to seeing how this grows and progresses. As I mentioned a little bit before, we are moving towards, really kind of a shared vision or experience for our students, whether it's Laguna High School or the Academy. And, you know, some of our talking points around these three pillars, but it's exploration, community, and empowerment. You know, we want our students to explore, be curious, right? We're utilizing all the characteristics of our portrait of a graduate. We want our students to not only create a great school community, but to be part of our larger community, whether that's in Forestville, Sebastopol, Santa Rosa, wherever that may be. We want them connected. And at the end of it, we want them to be empowered to make good decisions that are going to benefit them and make confident decisions. And so, you know, kind of utilizing that, this fits really well into, you know, the advisory process, which I'll talk about here. I think, next slide. So at Laguna High School, we've been kind of tinkering and dabbling with big picture learning for a couple years, and we've tried, so we've tried a number of different things with some areas really, really successful, other areas not so much. But we've never totally just jumped and dived in, and that's where we're headed. We're going to give it, everything we got, and we had a number of teachers over the summer participate in some professional development right before teachers were back with big picture learning and really focused on advisory. What you'll see here is, kind of what we're hoping for is goal number one, and this is, stuff we talk about in education all the time. We want to build amazing relationships with our kids. And the thought process behind this is once we have those relationships, we've earned the right to push and challenge them. And I think Jacob Ramirez mentioned that at our district PD day as well. We want the work to feel relevant to the students. And relevance is a term I think of a lot like success. Everybody has a little bit definition of that and what that is for them. And then rigor, right? We want our students to continue leveling up, whether that's in any realm, academics, personal, social, etc. So, we start with advisory. This is that dedicated time. Teachers are meeting one-on-one with students. Students are completing learning plans, and this is a student interest. And I got a couple of examples in here, but this can be academic interest. This could be outside of school interest. Really, anything that they're into. We want our students to engage in real world learning. The ultimate end goal of all of this is we want our students off-site at internships, gaining that real world experience, ideally in an area of their interest. And so, talking to our advisory group today, a lot of students interested in starting their own business. All right, well, how do you do that? Who do you know? What kind of business? Right? A lot of stuff you need to know there. And so if we can get them in those environments, they can gain that experience and also that exposure, which we think is really, really crucial. Student voice and choice, paramount. How many times has a student been asked in their school career, what are you into? What do you want to learn? Then exhibitional learning. This is student reflection, right? This is what I learned. This is the process I went through in building that reflection time. And then we also want to involve our families as much as we possibly can. The families are, I'll share an example a little bit later, but, as much as part of this learning plan as possible. So, when we have a student engaged in an internship, we had 2 last year to the work of some amazing staff members at Laguna, and, including the families in that and what that internship looks like and the days and all of that. It's a very, very cool process. And so, this is our goal, is to get to that point where we have most of our students out on internships. So we got a lot of work to do, but we're excited about the prospects. One of the things that's a little bit different on our campus as well this year is a little bit of a new staffing model. Last year we had, Laguna and the Academy completely separate, not only from a staff perspective, but from a campus perspective and a culture perspective, separate breaks, separate lunches. This year we have a shared instructional team. And I believe that brings a lot of benefits to our campus in terms of as we're moving towards this more of that shared vision with our small staff, our small number of students, greater access to a greater number of teachers. A lot of times last year at the academy, it felt like a one-room schoolhouse, Now, with all the benefits, I do want to say it's not without its challenges as well. I've been subbing for our vacant social studies position, and it's been a great reminder of, just what it takes to teach well, and and the difference in the lengths of the periods. But so far, Ann and Lily have been doing an amazing job, and so I think it's going to bring a lot of cohesion to our campus, and I'm excited about what this could look like moving forward. So we talked a little bit about this too, just a little bit of a different application. I think for the Laguna students, the first priority for us oftentimes is these students have been disengaged from school, and re-engaging them in school and is really the first priority. And, as we're moving through this, we want as much direct and personalized instruction through those learning plans as we can. And so that's a common factor between both schools that we're working towards as well. And some of the other differences, we'll talk a little bit more about the competencies, but the learning plans are pretty much the same. And I would say for the academy, we're really eyeballing those internships, mentorships, junior and senior year. Whereas when we get the students over at Laguna, it's immediate is the goal as soon as we can to get them out. So this is, the LTI process. So this is learning through interest or learning through internship. And, I'll go through this pretty quickly, but it starts with the student learning plan, and interest exploration. What are students into? Sometimes they don't know. Oftentimes, if you ask a student, what are you into? They go, I don't know. And then you got to do a little prying and a little digging. Internship search. How do we make those connections, right? How do we build this network? Do we know how to cold call? Do we know how to send a cold email? The answer is always no unless you ask. And so we go through that process, and then hopefully it ends up in a placement. And next slide, Jenny. So this slide, this is an example of the learning plan that we're using at Laguna High School this year. Nothing too fancy, but it's student vision, hobbies, lifestyle. What projects have you completed? Doesn't have to be academic. Could be talking to a student today, rebuilding mini bike engines, right? So what areas can we build off student success is really what we're looking for and what they're into. The image on the right is just the LTI pipeline, kind of the order of operations that I talked about last slide. So this is for the academy. We're utilizing a student dashboard this year. Pretty excited about this. I've been trying to get this off the ground last year too, and couldn't quite get it to where we wanted it. So the dashboard is basically, it's a Google sheet. And this is accessible to our teachers. And if the coding works properly, the learning plan is accessible to the students, but only the learning plan, because that's the part they're working on. And then the rest of the sheet is available view only to the families. So this is a document that's transparent and allows the families to see what the students are working on. The image on the right is just our competency guide, and I have another slide that's a little easier to read than that one. On the next slide here, we have, this is the learning plan. It's pretty much the same learning plan as Laguna High School. It's just in a Google Sheet form. What you see on the bottom right there, that's the one-on-one notes log. And so this is where students and teachers are meeting during that advisory time and talking about what's working, what's going well, how's the projects going, what do we need help on, that sort of thing. And so just kind of a running log there. This slide is our competencies, excuse me. And you can think about these kind of as basically your subject areas. So communicate clearly would fall under, English language arts. Use evidence would be science, using numbers and data, math. And so, we went through a process last year. We really, really simplified these last year. We had really the same 5 areas, but we had them, really wordsmith into fancy education speak that no one really understood. So we came through and we simplified them. And as we look at the competencies, these are things that are really a dialogue between student and teacher. And so, in those one-on-one meetings, the conversations will come up. Hey, where do you think you are? What are you hoping to improve on in this area? That sort of thing. Students may be working on 2, 3, 4 of these a quarter. They may be working on 1 a quarter. Again, it goes back to that student learning plan and what they're interested in and what they want to focus on. The other thing I'll mention, we are probably a few years away from this, but my goal would be to move away from, the traditional A through F grading system and move fully to the competency-based model. We got some research to do, especially in terms of, how UCs and CSUs and schools like that are taking, how that translates over. We've seen some other schools doing it, but that's the end goal, but we're quite a ways away from that. And I think that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. That's really informative. Does anybody have any questions for Greg? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, next is consideration of approval of resolution number 2, August 2026-27 regarding Hispanic Heritage Month. Can I get a motion, please? Thank you. Can I get a second? Thank you so much, Linda. Chris?
Yeah, this has become an annual resolution that we adopt per our work that originated with DEI and now ABC. I am happy to announce, as I know this was always the interest of our beloved former trustee, that Chuck does have some updates in terms of activities and how we're going to celebrate and recognize Hispanic Heritage Month. Chuck, if you don't mind coming up and sharing that.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rio's not here to hear this. Chuck Wade, Annalee High School. Want to thank Patty Hurtado, La Raza Club, Louis Mora, Yonette Vigil. They've been working hard on this already. I think the plan at this point is going to bring the Lacer radio station to campus on our club day coming up. There will be, that day is exciting and interesting for us because we can do different things with food than we can on other days. So we'll have food, we'll have some bands there, we'll have the radio station. More to come on what the actual program will look like, but it'd be fun to have you guys there. La Raza Club is taking point on it, and Patty and Louis and Yannette are going to design the day.
Can you tell us what day it is and the time?
No, I can't.
No,
Off the top
okay.
of my head, I can get that to you though.
Hey, just let us know.
What's Club Day. It's September 11th, 9/11.
September
There you
11th.
go. Okay, cool.
Great,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And during lunch or?
Yeah, during
Great.
lunch.
Thank you. Thank you, Randy. All right, thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Oh, that is a resolution, isn't it? Thank you. It's a roll call vote. So go ahead, Jessica, please.
Okay. Trustee Trinella,
Aye.
Trustee Hilton,
Aye.
Trustee Buckner, Trustee Fernandez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next is consideration of approval of resolution number 3, 2627 regarding the month of September as Attendance Awareness Month. Can I get a motion, please? Thank you, Linda. A second? Thank you, Sean. Chris?
Yeah, another annual resolution. I can speak to a little bit of what we're planning to do, and it really is just communication, comms. Like, we want to get information out to our families, show them some data. We want to relate it so they understand the impact on our funding, our initiatives to really create a sense of joy and belonging. I think we can fold in the Bell to Bell cell phone initiative, and I think we can do some things to incentivize attendance during the month of September. So we're going to be working closely with the administration on our high school campuses, and focusing a lot on pushing out a lot of communication. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. Roll call vote.
Wait,
Thank you.
I have another thing. Kirsten Samta Annalie is also pulling data from SCO, from SC9 Up, and part of ninth grade teams is to make sure students are on track, and that is including attendance. So that's going to be another initiative that's more of a systemic thing, not particularly for September, but that is something that is being done in order to address student attendance.
Super. Great. Thank you.
Oh, and now it's a roll call vote.
Yes.
Trustee Trinella,
Aye.
Trustee Hilton,
Aye.
Trustee Buckner, Trustee Fernandez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to now move to human resources, consideration of approval of teachers teaching outside of their credential area. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Linda. A second? Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate it. Okay. Dan?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is an annual item that comes before the board. We have a handful of teachers on both of our campuses who have assignments that are outside their credential area. And EdCode does allow for this with local board authorization as well as teacher consent. So each of these teachers signs a consent form to teach one or more classes outside of their credential authorization, and then they have to meet one or more of 7 criteria that are outlined in EdCode. And each of these individuals that we have here meet at least 3 of the 7 areas in the courses that they're teaching outside of their credential authorization. So the item is asking you to approve this each of these 7 teachers teaching outside of their credential area.
Thank you so much. Is there any discussion from the board? All in favor? Aye. Not, Brandon, this is one I'm not going to call on you. This is personnel, sorry. Next is consideration of approval of MOU regarding minimum 5-day priority window for permanent unit members. Can I get a motion, please? Thank you, Lewis. Second? Thank you, Sean.
I've got a few MOUs with WSCTA that I'm bringing forward tonight. And this one, I really want to thank them for working with us on this. We had an unexpected retirement come forward on the first day of school this year. And in order to fill that and have as seamless a transition as possible for students, we had a current unit member who was interested in transferring into that role. Typically, there's a 5-day period in which unit members are able to express if they have an interest in a vacant position. But with school starting just 3 days after that, we really, knowing that we had somebody interested, we wanted to move quickly. And so we approached WSCTA to ask if they would be open to I won't even say completely waiving the 5-day. We reduced the time because we did still go to each of the unit members who had the appropriate credential and were at various levels on the seniority list to see if they had interest in the position before formally offering the position. But WSCTA did work with us to say we could waive the 5-day window for this one particular instance. So with that, we were able to fill the vacancy and have the staff member start on day one with students. So asking you now to somewhat retroactively approve an MOU authorizing that waiver.
Thank you so much. Is there any discussion or questions from the board? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Next is consideration of approval of an MOU with WSCTA for teachers teaching 1.2 FTE for the 2026-2027 school year. Can I get a motion, please? Thank you, Linda. Second. Thank you, Lewis. Dan?
So there are two MOUs attached to this item. As we built the master schedule this past spring, there was, of course, a lot of uncertainty with where student enrollments would end up come fall, in particular with the change in Santa Rosa City Schools administrative regulation regarding interdistrict transfers and other factors as well. So of course, as the school year approached and those numbers started to materialize, we've adjusted accordingly, and we've been able to bring back some FTE. In fact, we just are in the process right now of adding a 0.6 FTE social studies position, a new hire. But we had two other 0.20 openings, one in social studies, the other in fine arts or in art. And so we had two teachers who offered to teach a 1.20 teaching assignment, one being Jason Carpenter in social science, the other being Ari Stur in art. And again, WSCTA worked with us to agree to allow these teachers to work the 1.20. So we're asking for your approval of these two MOUs regarding the expanded teaching assignments.
Is there any discussion from the board? Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Next is consideration of approval of MOU with CSEA regarding increased FTE for Special Education Consortium Administrative Assistant. Can I get a motion, please? Is that you, Sean? Thank you, Sean. Second? Thank you, Linda. Dan?
Okay, and then I have one MOU with our CSEA partners, and that item, there was interest expressed by the director of the West Sonoma County Consortium, as well as the Consortium Council, to increase the FTE of the Special Ed Consortium Administrative Assistant from a 7-hour-a-day to an 8-hour-a-day position, so a 0.875 FTE to 1.0 for this year, for this school year and going forward. Because that didn't get negotiated as a formal job description change last spring, we will plan to do that this year. For this year, we want to make that change under an MOU, and so we entered into this agreement with CSEA, and and they have taken it through their 610 process to get this approved. We're asking for your approval of the agreement to increase the position from 7 hours to 8 hours for the 26-27 school year, and then we'll formalize the job description change going forward.
Thank you so much. Is there any questions or comments from the board? All in favor? Aye. Thank you so much. As you note, there is no business services tonight. And with that, we're going to move on to facilities, maintenance and technology, Measure A bond updates. This is just a discussion. Jenny?
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? There we go. I don't have a lot in terms of a bond update. I just have a lot in terms of all the things that happened this summer update. As you guys know, the new CTE building is finished. The last 2 years of our lives and the site's lives of being disrupted by constant construction is over. And it's very exciting, and it was extremely rewarding to open up those facilities to teachers who were super excited to be in new spaces. So we are planning a grand opening, ribbon cutting I'm calling it a party because it's a celebration on Tuesday, September 29th, likely from 6 to 9. We're going to be sending out some save the dates soon. So mark your calendars. It's going to be the event of the West County area. We're involving our architects and our consultants who are helping with their marketing departments because they have those who are basically helping putting out some materials so that we can get a lot of press for this because it's a really huge commitment that we've made in this district, that this board has authorized, that our community has provided us with all this wonderful money to open up a $27 million career technical education facility. Also, just a side note, we got our 15-day letter today from the Office of Public School Construction for our first round commitment for Prop 2 funding. We sent in all of our documentation to them. This is just the start of the process of getting our $6 million, which is the grant that Heidi predominantly wrote, and I worked on the facility portion, and we scored 7th in the state and 33rd in the state for both culinary and agriculture. We're also going to be applying for some additional CTE grants this year, likely for audiovisual and construction, and I believe sports med is what I've been told, but we're working on that and hope to present more information. Really excited to say that we had a lot of excited teachers this summer here all summer getting trained on all the various pieces of equipment in multiple classrooms, both in our shop and in our culinary. We moved furniture in. We're still moving furniture in because some of it's on back order. We replaced the village building roof. We painted the village classrooms, the former auto shop, and the Annex 1 and Annex 2, just make that edge of the campus really sparkle. We added new garbage cans with tops and lids, which has really helped to decrease the other than students leaving garbage out. We've got squirrels, we've got critters, we've got all kinds of stuff that roam around campus. And so they're a little sad, but the garbage is, I've seen an increase in the garbage. We've added 2 staff restrooms. We're still working on keying them correctly. There are punch list items that are left with the project. We've added new decorative and security fencing and gates with a pretty little A at the one at the top. We've increased our driveway at the frontage of Annalise campus. We've slurry sealed all the parking lots. We renumbered all the parking lots. We really just tried to give it a beautiful facelift. There's some still work to be done in the quad areas. We have some landscaping going in. Basically, we looked at the quad, decided that the lawn was really in rough shape after construction, and asked them to replace the lawn. So that's going in this weekend and next weekend. So we'll have some sod being laid down. We are able to install a bunch of brand new benches with beautiful umbrellas all throughout the campus and in different areas to create different parts of the campus where kids could congregate. Other things that may not have to do with bond and construction, but I would be remiss if I didn't applaud my entire team. We cleaned the school from top to bottom. They did. I didn't. I did my part in a little bit of areas. We made multiple maintenance repairs all over campus. Like I said, they built all the furniture, and they built it in the last week before schools. They added umbrellas. They fastened them down. Technology went through every classroom to update software, firmware, replace batteries, charge remotes. They prepared staff devices, student devices, refreshing older devices, and deploying new ones. It takes a team of people to make summer magic happen. And I always get a little verklempt when I talk about them because I would be just a party of one. So we call ourselves the Mott team. We bought ourselves shirts a few years ago. We're the maintenance operations and technology team, and I'm so grateful for their hard work, their dedication, and their commitment to our district. And that's Denise, Francisco, Joseph, Ismael, Paul, Antonio, Danny, Marcos, Logan, Ramiro, Les, Jay, and Brian. And I thank you guys for letting me tell you all about them tonight.
Thank you, Jenny. Next is consideration of approval of a joint use and lease agreement for the use of a portion of the facilities at the El Molino campus with Sonoma County Regional Parks. Can I get a motion, please? Thank you, Linda. A second? Thank you, Sean. Jenny?
This item is as presented. They are currently a tenant on our campus. They have dealt with some fiscal budgetary crises at the county level as well and had to reduce some of their expenditures, but didn't want to leave our campus. So we figured out a way to have them stay and kind of shift some of the use and still make it financially advantageous for us, still have them be a part of our campus, which has been a really wonderful contribution to having them there. So the lease is updated to reflect the one classroom that they'll be using, the restroom that we've allocated them, which they only use in the morning and in the afternoon when they arrive and maybe are getting back into their cars. And then they have some dedicated parking spots and a couple different locations where they have some storage items that they can safely protect. For the last couple of years, they've been dealing with loss of gas and theft out there. So having them park in a secure location has been really well received by them, and they're very grateful. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Okay. With that, I will adjourn our meeting. That would have been nice. Yeah.